I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feather, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's good, it's Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back again with a brand new video, and today I want to talk about the possibility of the improbable. The possibility of the improbable. What does that mean? I'm talking about just how likely is something that should not be likely at all to happen. How likely is it that it's going to happen? That may have been worded very confusingly, but I'm not going to try it again. I'm talking about Nasir Adderley, a guy who went to a school that literally, look man, I'll be surprised if anyone who's watching this video right now watched a single full game that Delaware played during the season. You may have watched some games on YouTube afterwards, you know, when you heard about Nasir, but I'd be very, very surprised if more than 1,000 people in the whole country watched a Delaware game that weren't actually from Delaware. They're in the FCS in the CAA conference, which is basically Division II football. There are teams like Maine, James Madison, JMU, Elon, that's over there. That's in North Carolina, Richmond, Albany, William & Mary. Teams and schools that you really don't think about when you think about football or even college sports. But Nasir Adderley is a prime example of how very great talent, high-end talent can come from, you know, decently, you know, let's call it what it is, a low-end school in Delaware. You ain't think about Delaware, you think about sports, or really, if you think about Delaware at all, I'm not even sure what comes to my mind. The first thing that comes to my mind, thinking about the state of Delaware, is, why am I thinking about Delaware? The point I'm trying to make here is Nasir Adderley is a prime example of the improbable becoming possible. This guy is a diamond in the rough. His stats don't really back it up because after a while, quarterbacks just stopped throwing at him. I mean, just this past season, quarterbacks just said, you know what, Nas, look, man, your whole side of the field, we're not even going to touch it. We're not even going to look at it. You're good, bro. It doesn't even matter. I have the stats right here. They're not really on the site I usually go to. I have to use ESPN's. But in 2016, he had 3 total tackles. He had 2 interceptions and 1 return for a touchdown. In 2017, he had 6 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 5 interceptions. And then just this past year, he had 4 interceptions. And that's really just about it. He didn't really get any pass breakups, like I said, because teams just really weren't throwing to him. And it's kind of strange because his stats look like, you know, pedestrian, whatever kind of stats. They don't look all that impressive at all. But if you watch the film, if you watch this man, you see that he is lightning in a bottle. He's a very fast guy. He has extremely good range. He is very fluid in his hips. This guy can really move for the best of them. He played both corner and safety. And there's some analysts saying that, you know, he's good at safety, but his corner experience might make him a little bit better. He's kind of like a single high safety who's, you know, he probably would work better if he was running in a buzz zone. And he matches up in the slot so well that they think that a lot of teams will try to convert him back to his nickel spot. And for me, honestly, I'd be okay with either one here. The one thing about Nasir Adderley is that he's going to be an early round draft pick. He'll probably go in the first, but it is possible that he might go early second. And we do have a pretty decent pick, number 47 in the second round. He could possibly fall to us. He's really good at finding the ball. He's a really good ball hawk. He will contest the ball at the highest point. He plays the exact opposite of how Taylor Rapp does, whereas Taylor Rapp will sometimes be prone to wait for the receiver to catch the ball, then deliver a hit. Nasir will contest the ball every single time. And while there are some really big pros at Adderley's game, there also are some decently sized cons. He will get tricked by some smarter quarterbacks. He might look at their eyes and try to like follow them. He might jump routes that he doesn't need to. He may get tricked like tunnel vision on this one assignment and forget to like look around the field. His field vision isn't always like at the widest it should be. Maybe even a little bit in play action. But I honestly believe that his positives way outweigh his negatives. And just looking at his pro day numbers, he didn't go to the combine because he had a high ankle sprain. He ran a 4.5 4.40, but he said he felt a twinge in his hamstring about halfway through. And so he could maybe run a 4.49 possibly, but 4.54 is really good for him at his size. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. He had a 38-inch vertical, 19 reps on the bench, which is really good for a safety. That's actually very, very strong. But the one problem in this situation will be that the team will have to, go away from what the conventional thinking is for the first 2 rounds. I think for the most part, the team might be looking at O-line and edge rusher. It was going to take some faith, a leap of faith, to go out and get a safety in the second round, especially if we go and get Adderley and then transfer him over to playing the nickel, using a second round pick on a nickel corner, when there will be a really good nickel corner probably available very early, day 3. But Nasir can play a lot of different positions. He kind of lacks in man coverage, but that's only because he wasn't really tested too much. He wasn't really put in a position to play the man coverage all that much. The only other big thing that I have against Nasir is that, like I said earlier at the top of the video, he played mostly in a single high set. But thinking about it a little bit more, we're one of the only teams in the league who runs a cover 2 or like a Tampa 2 kind of look. I think we're one of only like 2 or 3 teams who has the middle linebacker good enough to run that kind of look. But if we think about it a little bit, we already know that our defense is going to be shifting to more of a 3-4, 4-3 multiple kind of look. And I would not be I wouldn't be too mad if we let Eric Reed play in the box a little bit more, let Nasir play single high some more, and James Bradbury has a good enough press corner, and Dante Jackson's already playing off his man, like 5-7 yards off the line of scrimmage enough to where I think that we could be pretty secure as a team to play maybe some single high looks, maybe a few cover 3 looks. I don't know about cover 3 with James Bradbury being a press, but I would be, I'd be okay with maybe letting him get some reps in at a cover 1 and maybe, seeing what we can do there. I think shifting our defense and, maybe getting more in line with the times here could be a move we could make. I would 100% not be against picking up Nasir Adderley, but I would also understand if the team did not, even if he was available in the second round with pick number 47. Safety is a position we could probably find in the third round as well. And although he tests well and he does possess all the skills we do need at the free safety position, it's just kind of a little bit of a hard sell for me to maybe pick up a free safety that early. But if the team's comfortable with what we have at the O-line position, then, this could be the move. This could be the move if he falls to second. That's how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about it? Do you like Nasir Adderley? Is that even a question? How do you feel about Nasir Adderley? Do you think he can play a good free safety for our team? Do you think he's worth a second round pick? Or I guess more exact, do you think the team's needs are aligned enough to where we can use a second round pick on a safety? Let me know all that in the comments below. And some of y'all have mentioned that these videos would do a lot better if there were like clips of like highlights of these guys going on while I'm talking about it. Well, I can't really do that with the way my channel is set up right now because 1, I get copyright claims, and 2, I get demonetized because I'd be using football content that doesn't belong to me. But if I was sponsored, I wouldn't have to worry about either of those things because I'd be getting it either way. And that's just one way we'd all benefit from that. It would mean a whole lot to me if you go in the description or to this pinned comment down below. Click on that link. It takes about 10 seconds. If you want to support the channel, please consider signing that petition to get the Panthers to maybe partner with this channel. We can have much bigger content. Either way, whether you do or don't, I appreciate you. And as always, you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.